because I can edit this part out.
No, I was just saying, like I said, like when I was still medic up in the mountains here in California, up in Mariposa, there's a lot of Native Americans up there, and I love Native American culture and all their stories and all those things. A lot of wisdom, um, and just going up to certain calls there, and they were like, "Hey, like they're like, I see your spirit, like I see your spirit," and I'm like, "Okay, like what do you want me to do?"
You're
I'm
like,
like, because especially back then, because I was not where I'm at now spiritually. So I was there on scene thinking about myself as a medic, like I gotta fucking do this. And they're just like, hey, I see your spirit, like, hey, all this stuff. And I'm like, can I do my job? Like, what am I supposed to do? Like, and they were just like, no, yeah, do what you gotta do. They was like, we see you like on a deeper level. And I'm like, oh shit. And I remember like very first time they ever told me that, we took the patient out, boom, patient was stable, no big deal. And before I like jumped back in the ambulance, like one of the family members was like, "Hey, you have a very light spirit. Like, you have to use it." I was use it for what? They're like, I don't know, just use it. And I'm like, high five. Like, fucking didn't mean it, honestly. Like, I mean, not that I've always been. I guess I've always had in my heart. I've always had a sense of spirituality, even from when I was a young kid. I just didn't know why or what or how to do it, or what to do.
well,
So they told me that, and we take this like patient to the hospital and do all this shit. And my partner Nick, he's like, "What was that about?" And I was like, "How do I know? Like, I don't live there. I'm not from there. What do you want me to tell you?" He's like, "I don't know, bro." He's like, "They were just telling you all kinds of stuff." He goes, and he's from that area. And he said, he goes, "Yeah," and he goes, "Native Americans are very spiritual." He goes, "They're very." He goes, "They understand stuff that we don't like pay attention to." I'm like, okay, cool, whatever. But yeah, I mean, I think about something like that. I've had a couple of those experiences where I'm just like, people tell me stuff, and I'm like, okay, so what am I missing?
maybe that was, that was meant to happen though, because you found it later in life, you know? Because what that story kind of reminds me of when I was growing up, people used to be like, "Oh, you're an old soul," and I'm like, "Okay." And then I got older and I started to understand, like, "Oh shit, like, okay," And then the Native American part you're talking about, that started for me young, because my grandmother always said her great grandmother was Native American, and then when I got old enough to start hunting, that's where I kind of realized that's where I realized, like, everything has a spirit, blah blah blah. Like, have respect. Like, don't just hunting is not about going out to just fucking kill something. It's you are gonna utilize it and be grateful for it, not just like, all right, like when fucking Americans were killing thousands of buffalo and just taking certain things, you know. So I guess I learned there's but you heard, like, for you, for example, you hear those things because there's, like we talk about, there's deeper meaning. And then when we're young or when we're programmed, we don't realize it until we become older and start to open up and start to do the, like, you don't have to be old. You just have to have the awareness of what you and I have now.
You just have to raise your consciousness, right? I mean,
Yeah.
that was the whole thing for me. I mean,
But I
that's
think
why,
there's a
right?
correlation between being connected with the earth and our consciousness,
No, of course, 100%. Well,
because everything is energy.
but we are connected, exactly. But we are connected to Earth. We are energy, right?
Yeah.
But it's your choice where you vibrate. So do you vibrate in fear and loathing and sadness, or do you vibrate in love and peace and like confidence? Like it's up to you, you know. And that's what I tell people is like, I practice daily, like trying to always have my vibration up, like let's go, boom, boom, boom. And I don't care what people say or think or do or whatever. Someone could come up to me and talk shit about me, and I'm like, cool, high five. I don't give a shit because you're the one in the shitty vibration because you're talking shit. I'm happy, you know. It's simple to me, but it well, it's simple now. It took a long time for me to figure it out, but I just don't care anymore what people think, what people do, you know. And I try to, and I always, of course, we've talked about like I, you and I with this podcast try to be a light to the world, right?
Yeah.
That's our
Yeah.
biggest.
That's why we're. That's why we talk about the things we talk about, Brian. Bragga. All right.
No, but even that, like, no, you're right. And the thing is, we may not always sound the way people want us to sound, or we may not always be the way people want us to be. But guess what, though? What I realize now on Earth more than ever, people are looking for authenticity.
Yeah.
They're tired of fake. There's a whole lot of fake, man.
That's all we have in this fucking world right now is fake.
A whole lot of fake.
At least
And so,
from the institutions that we're being overseen by. But
all of them, all of them. And I just, you know me. I don't agree with that shit. And so I'll always be the one to go against, and stand against and be confident against all those things. Because authenticity is where we're supposed to be.
yeah.
Be your real self, man.
Well, speaking of being a real selves, what's going on, everybody? It's Nate and Brian here with episode 17 of the Warriors of Light podcast. Today, we're going to kick off this episode with a little spicy event that I've been seeing going around. And we're just going to go off of this and talk about different aspects that me and Brian talked about off camera. So, the whole concept of why we started this podcast is to bring light to the world and get everybody to wake up to this crazy world that we're in. And a part of one of the most recent events that I have been looking at, and I talked to Brian about, and this goes, I'm going to say what happened, but we're going to talk about different aspects of this and just let it flow, because there's a lot deeper things going on than just what's happening in the physical sense of the world. So, and we're talking about this because, we're warriors of light. Our job is or our passion, I should say, not our job, is to bring the truth to people and what we're really here for as humans, as spirits living a human experience. So,
And to raise our consciousness.
yes. And myself and Brian were talking about how certain government entities are designed to keep us down, so to speak. So let's talk about, for just a second, something I've been seeing going around, and it actually really bothered me. So there was a gentleman who was a hobbyist gun maker slash seller, which is totally legal under the Second Amendment, right? And basically what happened, I'll give a summary of this. I won't go into crazy details, but sometime, I believe in March, Mr. Malinowski was, his house was deemed to be searched by the ATF. Not arrest, not an arrest. So they didn't have an arrest warrant. They had a search warrant.
But was without proper.
Oh yeah, I was getting into that. Yeah. So what happened was they show up at around 6 o'clock in the morning, before daylight hours, with 10. This guy has no criminal history, no criminal record. He was the highest ranking municipal government official because he ran an airport. No, nothing, right?
No
They
backup.
Yeah.
Himself.
So they show up to this guy's house during non-daylight hours, right before the sun comes up. The police and the ATF were not wearing body cams, and there's video footage.
Right.
There's actually video footage of them taping the doorbell camera. You can see it. They taped the doorbell camera. Now it's up for debate whether they knocked or not, but as a lot of people were talking about no knock raids, because that's a problem, right? And they break down this dude's door. Allegedly, the guy woke up because they heard the door being broken into. So he grabs his firearm and he's probably thinking, "Oh shit, someone's breaking into my house." So in the testimony that I heard, he did. His wife followed him out of the room. So, and he had fired some shots at their feet because it's dark. They also cut the electricity to his house, so it's completely dark in his house. Can't see anything, right? So, tape the doorbell camera, break down his door. No body cams. A search warrant, not an arrest warrant. The gentleman who's thinking, oh, I have to defend my home because it's him and his wife at
Yeah.
home,
Hell yes.
and he gets shot by law enforcement, whether it's an ATF agent or one of the locals, I don't know. He gets shot, not center mass, Brian. He gets shot in the fucking head.
Head. Yeah.
And I'm listening to this, and I'm like, bro, this shit was a straight up execution.
Execution. Execution. No,
and that's the ATF because, and they're under fire right now from Congress because basically what happened is they created a rule that if you sell a gun, you need a license to sell it, right? But in the federal policy, regulation, whatever congressional policy, there's no clear definition of what defines someone as needing to have one. But we're talking about this to talk about how in our society now, in the last decade or so, government has been overreaching so much. So now this happened to a guy with no criminal record. And the worst part about this, wait, hold on.
Oh,
the worst part about this is it because it was a search warrant, they could have they had the means to search him like a week prior, but they didn't do it because he wasn't home. And in my understanding of some law enforcement, I'm not an expert, is that they tend to prefer to do search warrants when people aren't home, because then there's less likelihood of violence and stuff, right?
Well, yes, for that. Yes, search warrants.
But they could have searched him a week prior, and they didn't. They waited until he was home, and all the stuff just doesn't add up, man.
No. So no, the only thing I'm gonna say, like, as far as my only knowledge in warrants, because I was a SWAT medic, we would only, if we got intel of, hey, there's this person hiding here at this apartment complex or whatever, and they're wanted for murder. Let's go, like, 1 a.m. Let's go fucking kick the door down. Let's go fucking find them. Boom, done. Fine, because it's a murder warrant. It's a whatever, like those types of things. So all this other little bullshit, no. But this whole situation right here, this dude did nothing. He threatened nobody. He did nothing. And they decided to get a warrant to go to him. That is our stupid, fucking retarded government who we have right now with retard Biden, retard all these fucking, idiots that are in there right now. And I don't care because it drives me bonkers. And I
think everybody's pretty much fed up with it, Brian. So
yeah, I'm just over it. I'm just like, no, like let's change this world, because this world could be all in one place of peace and unity, and let's all help each other. But we've had so long of our government like just fucking with us, and you have the few people that came along that wanted to change it. What happened to them? Oh, magically they were dead. Yeah, so we need to magically execute some other people, like, and put them in a little. Sorry, put them in a gas chamber. Oh, did I say that out loud? I'm sorry.
Yeah, you said it out loud.
That's
now
fine.
We're canceled. Now we're canceled.
No, we can put Biden and Kamala and Newsom and all those guys in there. Yeah, that's fine.
Well, they're also questioning. They've also been recently questioning Fauci.
No, yeah, he's already in court. He's in court. Yeah.
So it's like
that's not fucking surprising. That little fucking dirty bastard.
That shit should have happened a long time ago, though.
No shit. Oh yeah, but Nate, Hey,
you know what I can't stand? You know what I can't stand?
Is you and I do it. Go ahead. No, go ahead.
Sorry, if you get some regular Joe Schmo in court and they lie, they get fucked, right? Mm-hmm. But every single one of these congressional fucking questionings I ever see, they're always dancing around the question, not answering it. And what happens? What happens?
Nothing.
So what's the system really for then?
Dude, you already know. I mean, that's what I'm saying. This shit was built off of, well, probably even way before this, because obviously I don't know prior to this, But from my studies, Rome, this is built off of Rome. Rome, and again, I always tell people, Rome wasn't built in a day and didn't crumble in a day, but it fucking crumbled. That's what's happening to us now. Like, United States was built off of fucking like bullshit. It's fucking crumbling, and people are like, "Oh shit, what are we doing?" Yeah, because you guys are fucking idiots. You know, like, stop being so stupid. It's okay. Like, fucking, let's all work together. You
Well,
know?
you know what's funny is my dad always used to say, "Rules for thee, but not for me."
Yeah.
That's what our government is right now, and
Sure.
has been for a long time.
Oh, forever. Yeah, not forever, but yeah, well, probably forever. Close to forever. No, yeah, for sure. But that's the thing, though. Listen, if you go back over history and investigate into it, you realize the people that were actually going to try to make a change, they didn't last very long.
Yeah, I know, because they went against the agenda,
Yep,
the
exactly.
status quo.
Yep.
Like this other hearing was watching was, and this is going to get deeper as we go into this episode, but these are just little examples of what we see in our monkey mind world. Is that the whole transgender thing? Okay, but the issue is now there's a guy who was in prison for 30 years because he raped a 9-year-old boy and he raped a 17-year-old girl. While he was in prison, he decided he wanted to transition. And guess who funded that? Probably taxpayers. So not only did this guy, he started to get hormones and all that shit, but then the jail was like, "Hey, we need to send him to a women's prison." And the district, whoever is in charge of like the prison system, was like, no, because this is too much of a risk for further sexual assault. You're not going to send a biological male to a female prison." And this, like, it was, dude, it was just crazy because the senators questioning the judge basically caught her in her own lie.
That's awesome.
And
Good.
they were like, at first you said that, because they were like, at first you said that this person was sent because of health reasons, but in the report it says that the prison said it wasn't for health reasons, it's for sexual assault. Like, they don't want him there. And they basically caught her in a lie. A
Oh,
judge, bro.
they caught the judge in a lie.
Yeah, the one
And
who signed off on the shit.
they do it all the time. These bastards are dirty as shit. That's what I'm telling you, dude. Like, I'm telling
That's what I'm
you.
saying. There's an agenda out there, man.
We know that. And that's the thing, is that I have the hardest time dealing with any of our systems anymore, whether it's IRS, judicial, government, any kind of government, which that's all of them. Medical, school, like, all of them are such bullshit. And I'm like, so we all as humans have to, which thankfully, and I'm very grateful, like, more people are waking up more and more. Like, we have to come together and be like, hey, the fuck are we following?
Yeah, we just
We're
have to be like,
following
fuck this bullshit.
we're following some bullshit system. And guess what? Like, I tell people, it doesn't take that many of us to just be like, we're not doing this anymore. And all of a sudden people are like, fuck yeah, let's do it too. And then it just keeps going. Because we have to get away from all these old systems. They're all garbage, dude. Like, to me, like, they do nothing for me and my family, and nothing.
Well, bro,
Nothing.
we've talked about this plenty of times. The whole concept of money, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Everything in not just our country, but I would argue in the world is all about fucking money,
Yeah.
right? At least the systems are.
That's the
But
biggest.
money is just a man-made thing to fucking control you to work 45,000 years for a job you hate so you can live
Yeah.
for 5 of it and die.
Yes. It is a man-made. Number one, money's energy. Number two, money is nothing but a fucking man-made paper. So people are over there freaking out, doing everything they can to get this little piece of nothing, right? You know? So why don't you just fucking go and live life? What do you think you're here for? What do you feel you're here? Not think, what do feel you're here for? And go do it, and then watch how everything works out. It doesn't always happen like overnight. Like, oh shit, I'm great. No, it doesn't matter. Just go, what are you here for? Most of us don't. You and I talk about it all the time. Most of us don't live that. We're just like, I need to go get a job. I need to go get a paycheck. I need to go pay a bill and, you know, wipe my ass and die. It's like, yeah, it's a
That's because
fuck.
we've been programmed to believe that's the only way that we can function, and that's the only way that we can provide for our families.
Mm-hmm. And
But in
it's crazy,
reality, we're not supposed to live like this.
dude. This was not a God-made system. This was a man-made system. Like I tell people, you know, our creator, our I don't care, God, source, whatever you want to call him, like everything is just flowing nicely, and then then you have humans. Oh,
Yeah.
wait a minute, supposed to go to this point and do this. I'm gonna control you. You're gonna be my bitch for the next 30 years. Think about that. When they were creating those things, you're gonna be my bitch for 30 years. I'm like, dude, I will fucking like knee you in your balls right now and like walk away and be like, no, motherfucker. Like I'm out.
Well, yeah, it's just like, when I was growing up and my parents chose not to baptize us because they didn't want us to have a preconceived notion of what this is what I believe, or these are my parents' beliefs, so I believe it. They gave us a choice. And I'm glad that they did that because it bleeds into everything. Like not just
I,
spiritually, but also the way you think that you see things happen in society and you're like, well, that doesn't make sense. Like why did this happen? Like with the Malinowski case, like as soon as I heard what they were saying, I'm like, yeah, that's bullshit. Like there's no justifiable way to make that make sense,
no,
you know? And that's just the same
none
with
of,
everything.
but none of it makes sense. None of it. Like to the top of the case. Like, oh, he was a gun collector, and like, what was he doing? Was he threatening people? No.
You know what he was doing, Brian? You know what he was doing? He was
Yeah,
laying in bed with his wife.
yeah, but he was getting ready for all these idiots, and that's why.
Yeah. Like it's just and we want to touch on that because these are little, I mean, they're not little things, but these are examples of how we as a species, I guess you could say, are controlled, are pushed down to not live up to what we're actually here to do because now we're all just trapped in this fucking bubble of bullshit every day. And spiritually, we're all just hunkered down. Even like religion, even churches, like fucking, they're like, oh, if you don't do this, you're going to hell. If you don't do this, you're a fucking piece of shit. But
Hey,
then, but then the church is over there fucking touching little boys and shit, and you're like, well, what sense does that make? Who are you to tell
hey,
me? Who are you to tell me that I can't have a relationship with God if I don't pay you money or go to your church?
one of my buddies right here in California, he's very spiritual. It's funny because he hadn't gone to church in quite a while, and he just decided like I'm gonna go back. Yesterday, Sunday, he went back in there. He goes, I had the worst feeling in that place, and he left. He was like, dude, it just didn't even feel like okay anymore. And I told him, I said, because from all of my understanding and from like all the people that I know and that I talk to, these podcasts, these podcasters and stuff, they say that the attendance in organized religion is lower than it's ever been in humanity's, like life expectancy. So we're here, and it's like all of a sudden it's like people are starting to pull out of the churches and stuff. Why?
Well, here's what I'll say about that is because, and this is a complex issue based off what we're talking about, but it's also simple. But um, like the problem is that like we'll use Christianity as an example, but it's not the only one, right? But religion as a whole is not there to actually like there's a lot of people who say like if you're a real Christian, then you wouldn't have any of these issues. Like you wouldn't be judging people, you wouldn't be fucking
Oh,
crazy.
let
But
me
the
see
problem
those.
is
All of them.
but there's a side of the argument, and I kind of tend to agree with it, but I look at it from like more of the aspect that you and I talk about, that
Uh-huh.
these people who don't believe in anything, they'll fall for anything, right? So that means like, oh, I should just value this fake fucking character I've created for myself because that's what I believe in. Like, oh, you know what I mean? It's like, but you're not. But basically, at the end of the day, you have people who are living like we were just talking about in a higher frequency, higher vibration, and a lower vibration, and people who tend to like, no matter what you believe in, like if you don't seek God, and this is complex because God is already in you,
But no, we are a part of God. I'm listening.
yeah,
Keep going. I'm listening.
but if you don't seek what we're truly here for, then you're always going to be feeling like you're down and you're left without, you know, Bec- because you have no, if you have no core values that you believe in, and you'll just fall for anything like, oh, yeah, men should be in the bathroom with women or fucking children, you know?
Yeah.
It's like if that's your it's if that's your belief, then that's just the pathway to ruin because you have no actual value moral values. You're just like flapping in the wind like, yeah, I agree with this or whatever. Like the whole school system when they're like, oh, we're teaching these kids the boy that he's a girl and the girl that she can be a boy. It's like it's all this stuff is on a way deeper level than what people that some people, well, a lot of people are waking up to it. A lot of people do realize it, but the propaganda is there to make it like, oh, you can't talk about this, or you're sexist, or you're a homophobe, or you're racist, or blah blah blah. It's all just put there to
You know
keep it,
what?
you know.
That's why I love. That's why I love. You know, I talk about sometimes on here like comedy. I love comedy. We should all laugh. Life shouldn't be so serious at all.
But that's the
Um,
problem, man. People get so offended so easily these days. It's like, shut up.
hey,
And I
you
love
and
comedians
I,
because they're
you and I have talked about Wayne Dyer,
yeah.
and Wayne Dyer has that one talk where he said, I can't remember where it came from, but he said he goes, you know, he went to this one thing where people where the guy that was like the lead of the talk was like, yeah, you have to adhere to rule number 6. No, you know, people come over there and complain. He's like, no, you have to remember rule number 6. And people are like, what's rule number 6? He's like, stop taking yourself so damn serious.
Exactly.
And then they're like, what's the other rules? He goes, there is no other rule. That's the only rule. And I'm like, that's the point, man. Is that we in this life think that we're supposed to be like, oh my god, everything's got to be so serious. I'm like, dude, just enjoy your experience, man. You know, try to do your best, help each other as much as we can, but enjoy this experience because at the end of the day, that's what we're here for.
Like even if you believe in reincarnation, you still have to think. You
Oh,
really
I
only
do.
have, well,
You?
there's a song. It's by Godsmack. I can't remember what it's called. It's on a new album. I can't remember which song it's in. But one of the lyrics is, "We only get one life to get it right." So even if you come back, you're gonna keep coming back to repeat the same shit if you didn't learn it.
No, I. That's what I say. Is that I do believe we've been here many times. My thing is that we're each time we're learning stuff. So you and I've talked about this. Is like I'm trying to learn as much as I can right now, clear as much as I can right now, so I can move on peacefully after this whole incarnation. You know, but who knows? I don't know. I have my grandkids. I have my kids. I have my parents. I have all these people here. So I'm like, I don't think I have anywhere to go for a while. So
Yeah, man, that's a like I would say, family is a beautiful thing, but like I'm kind of jealous of your grandkids because they have a grandfather who can teach them stuff like that, like what we're talking about right now. You know?
yeah, I dude. When I talk to my grandkids, when I talk to my oldest son, we were hitting golf balls earlier, but we were having like this talk. Um, it's crazy because I'm very grateful that I've been blessed with the wisdom that I've been given in the last, what, since 2017 ish, like around there. Um, because I can share things now, and I listen to even my kids and my grandkids hear things. My grandkids repeat things. My 4-year-old grandson repeats something.
Yeah.
Oh, are you meditating? Grandpa, you're talking to God, you're meditating? Yeah. That kind of stuff is beautiful, you know? And that's what I want them to see, honestly. And I don't push it on them. I just be me and let them see it. So, I'm blessed to have this wisdom that I've been given. Um, the teachers and the mentors like Wayne Dyer and Ram Dass, and to be where I'm at now, so still growing every day.
It's a constant. Life is a journey. You never stop learning,
Never.
because in life you're gonna have those moments where you're still doing go down in the shadows and you rise again. You know.
Oh, dude, that's the other thing is that's reality, right? Like that's our human reality. Is that we're gonna have those days and those times. I don't care how far you've been into your healing journey. You're gonna have those days and times where it's like falling apart, and you're still gonna have to be there for the people. And you're gonna be like, everybody's gonna be like, "What the hell's wrong with you?" Well, I'm human too. I have my shit,
Yeah.
because there's a lot of healing to do in this whole like journey right now. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I'd say healing is the journey. Because if you can heal yourself, then you can help others. Because people think like, oh, if I just do this for a week, I'll be good, or I'll cure myself. I'm like, there is
Yeah.
no cure, bro. It's a constant work.
Yeah. You can have a full release, but at the end of the day, it's like you said, it's daily work, daily, weekly, whatever. Like, I got to go through my meditation. I got to go through my self forgiveness. I got to go through, all these things, right? That's why I love holding my meditation groups because people come and then people start to like we build a community and people start feeling comfortable when I tell them like, hey, like we're here to like really like let shit go. So what's going on? You know? Because there's a lot. I mean, most people do, not most, but I would say a lot of people are fucking hiding shit.
Well, dude, they hide it for years, decades, their whole life maybe. But um, speaking of which, so off camera, we're talking about reptilians.
Mhm.
The concept of, we were talking about the Malinowski case, we're talking about energy, we're talking about all this stuff, higher vibrating, lower vibrating. So, what is it, Brian, that keeps us down as a being, as a collective group of people on this planet? What keeps us down? Why can't we all just chill out and
It's
love
our
each?
lower, it's our lower energies. You think about it. We're all energy, right? And again, like I say, from my studies, 432 hertz is like the frequency of the universe. 528 is of the heart, of the human heart. Um, the higher you vibrate, the more positive we bring, right? Think about what we've been bred to believe and think about for well, from especially for us, from our birth, and then of course our parents, our grandparents, all of them is fear, right? So you follow a religion. You have to get into a religion, follow a religion. The religion tells you God doesn't like you because you made a mistake, which is bullshit, right?
Yeah, I never really liked the term of being a God-fearing man.
No, that's what I'm saying. Me either.
Why
No,
should I
me
fear the
either.
person? Why should I fear the being that where we come from?
No. If you have to fear your creator, that's probably not a good idea, you know? And so, no, I 100% agree with you. So that's what I tell people. So, like, we shouldn't fear our creator. No. There shouldn't be no fear, no shame, no sadness, no depression. And I tell people, doesn't mean you can have a moment of it, But then you let it go because you know you're going to heal and be that, because you're a part of God no matter what, every moment of every day. So most people think that we are very like segregated. I think that's honestly why people kill themselves, because they're like, hey, I'm by myself. There's nobody here. And I'm like, even if you don't have a physical person around you,
You're
you
never
have
alone.
you have an angel with you every moment. Like you have all, I mean, there's so many like deep things. You're never by yourself. And so I'm like, dude, like, no, you're good. Don't worry about that. Like, I get it, because I used to think that, I always had to be with a chick. Now, no, I learned that I've grown. I'm different. I'm better. Um, but that's the whole point, though, is like, just like, you have to be able to come to that place where you just know, like, you're never alone. We're divinely protected and directed every moment.
Well, you know what? This made me think. You know what Wayne Dyer says, and it's actually a good point. Is um, Wayne Dyer said, "Who am I?" Right? Who
Mhm.
am I? And I've experienced that in my like. How many people live their lives trying so hard to be something that they're not because that's what they've been told or programmed. Like, oh, you have to be this way, or like we talk about masculinity in men, for example. Like, oh, you can't cry. It's like we're human. Like, why is it not okay? Why is it not okay for a man to cry or show weakness
Yeah, no
or
shit.
vulnerability? Yeah. Because that's our monkey mind, that's our brain, that's our. But who are we? Are we all just living a life trying to be someone that we're not? But when you find, I think that,
Most, yes.
but I feel like the most peace I've ever had in my life is when I am on that path, and I fall off it every once in a while, like I did the last 2 weeks. I'm like, what the fuck is going on? But um, if you can follow that path of being content and spiritual and trying to connect with source or God and manifesting and setting those positive intentions, then all this other dumb shit that's happening in the world, the only tragedy I see behind it is that a lot of people don't see things the way that we do. But you also, it's complex because you have to understand, like, okay, these things happen because XYZ, but you also believe that things are meant to happen. But then you're also like, how come this person didn't realize that this is what was happening? Then you realize that we got a veil over our fucking eyes all the time. We're always distracted by everything.
Yeah, but that's the thing, though. You and I, since we've known each other, we've had so many talks about so many things, which has been almost a year now of us having these things where we understand there's a different. It's like you said, there's a veil. Our veil's been lifted a lot for us.
Yeah.
I'm not putting anybody else down. I'm just saying that we see it. We're like, okay, this is actually why we're here. We see the Matrix. We see, the whole game. We see it all, right? Um, and we can put that out to others because that's our job, I guess you would say. Try to help other people wake up. But whether they take it or not, it has nothing to do with us. You
And
know?
you know what though too? I also believe like, yeah, I believe that. Like you can lead a horse to water, you can't make it drink.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. It's up to them if they want to fucking take it.
But I feel like, you know, imagine if everybody was just like, you know what, I'm here to help other people
No, I know, and believe me,
instead.
that is my daily like prayer and affirmation is that we all come together as a team and we all help each other. Like sincerely, that's literally my my deep what I do when I send out. When I pray and I meditate, and that's what's funny is because starting again tomorrow, like I said, we're gonna do. My clients were gonna come in and start doing our meditation group, and I'm like, I can't. I love that. It's like you have this group of people, just like, hey, let's have this one meditation out there. It's so powerful, you know.
Yeah,
Looking forward to that.
that's exciting
Oh
because
yeah.
I've never been in a group doing it though. I've always just done it by myself.
Dude, when you're with other people, the did I tell you a story about the wind chime the other day?
Yeah, but you can tell it right now.
Yeah, I'll say it on here just so people can hear. Yeah, so what was it? Friday. This last Friday. I'm with my client. I'm in California. She's in North Carolina. Um, I used to train her when I was living out there. When I left, she was like, "I still want you to train me." So we've been doing like FaceTime trainings for the last several months. Um, Kind of crazy because she also used to go to I hold meditation groups. She would come to my meditation groups that I held right there in North Carolina. We have a lot of healing going on there. A lot of people just growing, expanding, their conscience expanding. It was so good. So anyway, like we're doing that good. Um, on Friday, and we've her and I, since I've been doing the FaceTime trainings with her, we've had many times where she just calls me, and I can feel her. I'm very I'm an empath, so I can feel all people's energy, so I can see it even from across the phone. What's wrong with you? Blah blah, blah whatever. So the other day she did do a little workout, and then we sat down, and I said I'm gonna walk you through a meditation. Walk her through a meditation. I could hear, but we were just first starting. She was sitting in her front porch. Wind's going in North Carolina. You can hear her wind chime going like left and right. Boom, boom, boom. You're like, yeah, okay, cool. So yeah, she goes, nice day. It's just windy. I'm like, all right, cool, whatever. Like sit down, start to walk her through this meditation, start to walk her into a meditation to just kind of bring her down. Both of us started going deep into it. Even me with the music on, we were like, I was going. All of a sudden, the wind chime stopped. Dead stop. No noise, no wind chime. I noticed it, didn't think too much about it, but I was like, where's meditation? No big deal. All of a sudden, I walk her back down in the meditation, walk her back up. We come out of the meditation, and she was like, did you catch what I caught? And I said, you talking about the wind chime? She goes, yes. And I was like, yeah. And she goes, do you know that the wind was still like flowing? She goes, but when you had us right there, she goes, like, it stopped it. Like, it just kept it still. I believe our energies, when we're connected, can do a whole lot of crazy shit.
Yeah, man, that's like some Hollywood shit right there. you know? But
Mm-hmm.
I do believe in that because uh I've messed with energy myself, just like simple stuff, like putting your hands together but not touching and kind of like going like this. And you can feel
Mm-hmm.
something's there, like almost like you're holding the ball. But the only like when I feel energy, it's usually from other people. So like, and this was when I was in the military. I was in a liquor store, bro. I swear to God, it felt like there was a force field in between me and this lady. Like, but she was drunk in the liquor store, old fat lady, like negative energy as fuck. But I felt it like it was like waving on me, and I was like, "What the?" And I was like, it just kind of like stopped me. I was like, "What the fuck is that?" You know, it was
I've
crazy.
had that. I've had that. I know what you're talking about. Yeah, I've had that.
You can't see it, but you can feel it.
No, dude, it feels like a pool.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Like
yeah,
like you're being, and it's uncomfortable. It's tight. Like it's not. Yeah.
yeah. So that's why to this day, like, that's another thing. Since we're on the subject, you know how they say when a house or someone is possessed, like you need a priest to come do some shit. I'm like, nah, dude, you got some weird shit happening in your house. All you got to do is do it yourself because we have that power.
Yeah.
That's the thing. You know
100%.
what's interesting? That's the thing. Now that I just said it, that's the thing that also bothered me about Christianity. What? Oh, you're dumb. No, but that's the thing that bothers me about religion is like, oh, you need this appointed official to come and do this energy work in your home. It's like, no, you don't. You can do it yourself. Everybody that's watching this or listening to this, you can. If you have some weird shit happening in your house, first of all, if you have some stories you want to share, comment on this post, like, share. We also have an email that I'll leave in the description. If you want to share us your anonymous stories of weird energy or spiritual type things happening, and if you want to be mentioned in it, let us know. If you want to remain anonymous because you feel like you'll be judged, that's perfectly fine. Um, but me and Brian want to talk about other people's experiences because we've had our own throughout our lives, and we know many other people have as well. But the whole concept of I need someone else to like, I fully believe in being self-sufficient, and that's with anything like working on my vehicle, my yard, my house, um, you know, educating my children. Um, a part of being self-sufficient is doing your own energy and spiritual work. Is it good to have a mentor? Yes. Is it good to have a teacher? Yes. But we all have an inner knowing in us, and we can all, if you have some negative things happening in your home, if you have the right willpower and belief, you can get rid of that stuff. 100%. You don't need, oh, let me go call this person. You don't have to call the Ghostbusters and be like, hey, can you come suck up this ghost?
Why not, Nate? Why not?
Oh, that's another thing. It's, I just had, I don't, I've always seen, like, we talk about this, but I want to get into reptilians because we're getting a little crazy here. But
No, I want to get reptilians because, like I told you, I asked you about that, and I just, yeah. The more I've heard about it, I'm like, oh, dude, they're 100% here. I'm waiting for
but
the
do you
shape
think they're
shifting
involved in
shit.
our government then?
Fuck yes. What do you? Hell yes.
A lot
And
of
that's
people say Hillary Clinton is one.
fuck yeah. Well, dude, look at her. She looks like a fucking dinosaur. Um, poor Bill. You know, hey, were you blind, bro? Sorry. Okay. Anyway, I'll probably get all kinds of fucking negative comments because that I don't give a fuck. Anyway,
No, nobody likes the Clintons. It's okay.
dude, the whole reptilian thing, 100%. Like, I'm waiting. When I listen to, I need to reference. I need to find that podcast that I was watching and reference that. When I listened to her talk about that, I was like, that is 100% happening. She already said that there was already like, there's been a couple of like, I guess, shape shifting things happen on stage for like some of these singers that have sold their souls.
Oh yeah, were their eyes changing shit?
Just a few. She said there's been shape shifting since like for some of these singers. So she goes within the next 3 years, she goes, there's going to be a whole like plethora of people watching this show, and these people are going to shapeshift. They're going to catch it on the camera. I was like, yeah. So
Well, what's funny? We're on the subject. Is I just saw this YouTube short the other day of these people on SNL, and it was like one of the dudes from All That. I can't remember his name, and he was like all this stuff. Whether you believe in God or the devil, which you should always believe in God, whichever. But the devil is a little mysterious because there's a lot of different things that go on. Like, is it actually the devil that's depicted with horns, or is it actually just negative entities?
think about it. The devil was sent down as a test, right? Like, hey, I'm gonna fuck with people, but only with permission. But that's the thing, only to a certain point, never to destruction. So all the shit we've been taught, like when it comes to like actual like fucking like religion and shit, nah, it's not true. Like fuck no.
Well, well, I'm saying that to say that this guy was talking about how, oh, I made a deal with somebody. He has red fur and hooves and horns to look like I'll be 25 for the rest of my life. But it's like that's not the only thing. Like, yeah, maybe that was joking, but there's so much stuff that's just in our face all the time now that it's
That's
like we talked about a lot of these systems are man-made. So
a
are
lot
these
of all.
people
I mean, like I'm telling you right now, dude. What we live by right now, everything we live by, fucking 24 hours in a day, 60 fucking, 60 minutes in an hour, like all these things, it's all man-made bullshit. and we're living by it. We're agreeing to it. Let's pay taxes. Let's fucking follow a school system that's lying to us about our fucking history. Like, why are we living the way we're living? It's a choice, right?
Yeah.
It's a unanimous choice. So why do we not? I've said this like over and over for the last several years. Why do we not unanimously decide? Let's all become a team and say, fuck all the rest of these people.
All right. Well, speaking of that, so what is your take on the whole reptilian concept then? Do you think
Oh
that the
no,
do you
I
think
believe.
that there's
So what I believe is, and so especially, and like I said, I'm gonna go back and find the podcast I listened to a couple days ago because I want to re-reference what it was because it was a really good podcast. She was really cool, but that's what she talked about. Is like the whole reptilian thing. Like she said, she goes, like they've been around for a long, long time. They've always tried to run the whole what we're doing, right? They wanted to let us come onto this planet, but they were like, "Oh, we're still going to run them," and then we started to take off, and they're like, "Oh shit." So that's what I heard from that, and it made sense to me. And I've heard like multiple things about it. Um, so I think the reptilians are here, and they're just like
so where do you
they're.
think that falls?
But you know what I think they're doing? I think they're losing control. So that's why I say like even like we said, Biden and all them, and people are shapeshifting. I think it's a lot of them, man.
So what do you so based off of that, what do you think about that concept versus the concept of spiritual warfare, or do you think it's the same?
I think it's similar. I think it's the same because I think we're all spirits. I don't care what we think about. I mean, so we say reptilians, but say we talk about an iguana on the fucking ground, right? It's still a spirit. It's still a spirit. It's still whatever.
Yeah.
So the whole reptilian thing, I don't know. I go up and down with that because I'm like, I don't believe that we're the only fucking like, because humans were like, oh, it's just us here. It's just us because we're selfish bastards. No, it's not just us here, fucktards.
Well, I
There's a
think
bunch of other people, or a
right.
bunch of other like races and all these things. Not races, but like even like existences out there. Like,
Yeah.
and so I'm like, what makes you think there's not reptilians? I don't know. Shit.
So basically, what I think is that even if, because see, that's where the human monkey mind comes into play. Because we're like, oh, we're human, we're the perfect creation. But number one, there has to be life on other planets. Number two, like just because they're not human doesn't mean they're not spiritual beings either. You know,
Well, of course, yeah.
you believe
No,
everything has. I think that's kind of what you're trying to say is like everything still has a spirit, no matter where they come from.
everything does. Well, and that's the thing though, is like it's just like they talk about and I'm sure you've heard this, Nate. Is like when they talk about ETs and all these things, right? Like ETs like they have a way higher frequency than we do. And we were just talking about frequencies, right? We were talking about like energy and frequency. ETs have a way higher frequency than we do because they're always like living in that state of love, right? We've been taught by Hollywood that ETs want to kill us. No, hell no. They're trying to protect us. They're trying to be like, hey, you morons that are down there fighting each other, like let's come down and help these guys like get their shit together. And that's my whole point. It's like, we're here to like build love, build connection, build all these things. And why is it that we can't figure that out? It drives
Well,
me
let's
nuts.
well, something that actually just made me think about is so UFOs have been seen throughout human history, right? It's been depicted in calligraphy, it's been depicted in ancient scriptures and all this other stuff, whatever. But most recently, I mean, pretty recently, it's gotten ticked up in our modern. But I think one of the pivotal points as to when it started to increase was after we discovered the nuclear bomb, the atom bomb. Because once we set off those nukes, we started to see them a lot more. Like that's why
Yeah.
the whole Roswell thing happened. And like once we fucking when we nuked Japan, you know, it's like I like it makes me wonder, is there another species that's monitoring us? Like, hey, you guys aren't supposed to be like fucking blasting each other off the face of the earth like this.
You just fucking spoke it, dude. Like, yes, 100% they're watching us. That is why they have intervened over areas of making atom bombs and shit like that, and they've gone in there and disrupted the entire fucking process.
Yeah, I've heard that too. Yeah.
Dude, I'm telling you, that's why all these reports are coming out, because they know, they're like, yes, we have fucking found these people, or not people, or these other beings, but we found these beings. We found. They even said they just fucking like released, and I
You
don't
know
watch,
what?
not from news. It's from the shit that I watch, and I know the shit that I watch is fucking real. And they said, yeah, they just re-released and said that yes, there was a different being driving this or flying this fucking aircraft. And I'm like, duh.
You know
Fuck
what's
tard.
funny? Well, you know what's kind of alarming though is that when Joe Rogan talked about this, and I've seen it and heard it in different aspects, but it's a complex issue in that, do I believe in aliens and other beings? Of course, there's no way we're alone, right? But at the same time, you have to be cautious because now it's been basically proven that mankind has the ability to create these vehicles. So now, if I was a government or a body of people that wanted to take over the planet, I would stage a fake alien invasion based off of machines that I created to make people believe that we're being invaded. So that's the problem, is that now man has the ability to make these weapons or these vehicles, and there's been people who've said that actually these secret government projects are like 300 years advanced than what is available to the public right now.
So
And they talked
I,
about
I
that on Gaia too.
no on Gaia. Yeah, I 100%. I heard on Gaia too. That's where I heard it at, and I 100% agree with what you're saying. Okay, so I guess my question is to this whole situation. Those of us that are awake and that we're at the place that we are, and I'm not saying awake like we're better than anybody, because we're not. Just awake to a certain sense.
We just have a different perception because
Yes,
we have done
yes,
different types of
yes,
work, you
yes.
know.
And so I never mean it to be like, oh, I'm more awake. No, I'm not fucking Mr. Enlightened fucking guru. I'm not. I'm just seeing things differently. But so at this point, with what you're saying, which makes total sense. So what do we do to help enlighten as many people as we can right now?
Question everything that you see. It's that simple. That's what, that's one thing I am grateful for. Like, I have great parents. And one thing my dad always told me is be aware of the world around you. And I'll bring it back. I've said it many times on this podcast. That's why when COVID hit the first week and I saw it on the news, I was like, that's bullshit. Like once you you ever heard that phrase, like once you're awake, you can never go back.
Oh yeah,
So
yeah.
it's like now I just have this, it's almost like having a radar where it's like, yeah, that doesn't really make that much sense. There's more to it than this.
Well,
You know?
and when I talk to people about waking up, I tell them there's been a few times where I'm like, I just want to go back. I just want to go back. Like I just didn't want to hear this shit anymore. And it's like I can't though. I can't like unlearn what I know.
Dude, that's exactly, isn't it funny? We were talking about Hollywood. It's like I want to go back to that Hollywood picture, like, oh, I just have a job and my family and blah blah blah, and the world is fine. But no,
But you can't.
it's like living with a burden almost, because you can see through all the bullshit. So you're just like, ah, fuck.
Yep. Yeah, and you can't unlearn it. So you're just like, fuck, man. And
But that's what they're
like,
afraid of. They don't want everyone to be awake
no, I know. I
because
know
they
that.
know that once everyone is awake, then they have no power, and they're just like, all right, we gotta fucking
But
either give it up or kill
but
her.
why do you think even Hollywood's falling apart? Something simple like that. That is exactly what there's that podcast. I've shared some stuff with you from there. Well, because Tulan was on there not too long ago, but that was the Next Level Soul. That podcast, Next Level Soul, and it's like I said, like like that kind of shit. And he even says he came, Alex, the guy that's the fucking creator of it. He came from Hollywood. He goes, yeah, dude. He goes, he saw all the dumb shit in Hollywood, And he said, he goes, Hollywood is like the most like corrupt like shit place. Yeah, that's why it's falling apart.
That's what happens when you base any type of system off of what we're not supposed to be here for.
No shit.
I feel like maybe that's why mankind has just been in the cycle of golden age and then ruin and then golden age and then ruin, because we're just on this constant cycle of, hey, this is all meaningless bullshit, but we're gonna keep it going because our because we get to the height and then we lose sight of what we're supposed to be here for. And then when it dips down, we're forced to go back into our monkey mind, our survival mode. And then we just repeat the cycle instead of being like, you know what? Fuck it. Because that's the issue. Like for example, me and my wife, we've been watching The Walking Dead, right? And of course, society collapses, and then all these different people are like, "This is the way the world is now." Blah 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 blah. And it's like you could just help each other, and you'd live longer, dummy. Instead of like trying to take control or take power, you know.
Mhm.
So it's the same concept. It's just we get so caught up in these little boxes that we put ourselves in, or we rely too much. I feel like some people's, like they say, your true character comes out when you're pushed or you're tested. Come on over there.
It's starting to be annoying. Get out of here.
No, it's all right. Tell him that you love him and that we'll talk to him later. But it's like,
He's trying to get a heart on, but he can't.
oh boy. Wait, what are we talking about here?
Stop, get out of here.
This is unruly.
Nate's all, damn, that's gonna be a hard edit.
Get it? No, you didn't get it. Okay.
Okay. Anyway,
But yeah, what do you think about? Do you think so? What do you know about star seeds? I guess I'll ask you that question.
well, I think it starts here. I mean, they say, well, from what I've learned, like if we're star seeds or we're here for, we're healers, like we're those empaths. So we come here, star seeds are here to bring light and love and that connect to all the people that may be in lower vibrations. It's kind of funny because it's like, I realize like as I go through life and I'm always around, not always around, but I end up in places where maybe people are like more like low vibration naturally.
Yeah.
And it's like I'm there to like bring them up.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's just weird. I see it. I'm like, okay, God, like, why am I always in these places? Like, it doesn't.
That's the point.
To me,
You're
it
not
doesn't fit me. But it's like,
there's no point in you being around people who are already higher vibrating because there's nothing you can show them.
no, I know. I guess that's why I said. I guess that's why I've like always looked at it and been like, okay, that's why I'm here. Okay, cool. But sometimes I look at it's the ego looks at it and it's like, what the fuck am I hanging out here? What am I doing here? Like I shouldn't be here. I'm like, nah, I'm better than this. It's like, yeah, see, it's like, nah.
See, that's your ego, baby.
That's 100% ego.
Your
Hell
monkey
yeah.
mind.
Oh yeah.
Like,
Oh, yeah.
I'm better than them. Leave me alone.
I'm better than this. Yeah, no, I know. Yep, that's the asshole me. Yeah. Gotta let him go.
See, it comes back, but if you can bring the difference. See, people think being enlightened is like, oh, I'm holier than thou. It's like, no. Being enlightened means you acknowledge that part of yourself, and then you bring yourself back to like, okay, that's why I'm here. Not fuck this, people. Brian, that was a perfect example. You just gave a perfect example right there. Like people think being enlightened is just being like, oh, I can walk on water. No, motherfucker.
No, you literally just explained it perfectly. Being enlightened is a balance, like you just said. You understand there's a light and a dark in all of us, right?
Mm-hmm.
I always tell people, every single one of us has a good wolf and a bad wolf. Which one do you feed more?
I like to feed mine puppy chow.
Yeah.
Well, that's because you like your balls eaten. That's all right. That's good.
Brian, I just want you to know that this whole time we've been recording, I can only see from your nose down.
Really?
Jeez.
There we go. Now I can see your giant forehead.
And I can see your giant nose.
Yeah, man, I'm Armenian.
Well, I'm getting poked by your nose. You're in North Carolina. I'm not in California.
You're over 1,000 miles away, baby.
That's a big poke.
That's what she said. All right,
No,
ladies and gentlemen,
that's never what she says.
this is the part of the episode where we get goofy.
Oh my god.
But yeah, man, it's just like people have. That's the thing, and we've talked about this before. People think of everything as black and white, and it's like, no, bro, be in the gray area. Like Yep. It's like when you're talking about certain events that happen, it's like, okay, then what are both sides of the story? You know what I mean?
But what have we been taught though? We've been given one story for years and years and years and years, right? So we have generation after generation following the same bullshit that doesn't it's actually not truth. And that's why I say it's like I question all of it now. I'm like, why are we learning this shit? Why are my kids learning this shit? My grandkids learning this shit? That's not even truth. I'm like, fuck that, dude.
Yeah, like I remember when I was in Catholic school as a little wee lad, I would never pay attention. I always got in trouble. I pissed off the nuns all the time. I was a little fucking hellraiser, and now
Probably because you were tickling him with your nose.
I was like, "Come here." Ugh. No.
Oh my god.
But you know what's funny about that is it's always the ones who are just like, yeah, fuck it, are the ones who actually grow up to make the difference. You know what I mean? Just like you.
Yeah.
You and me. Like
I know. Always.
Like it's always the little hellraisers that are like, yeah, I'm gonna break the mold.
Hey, the ones that follow the fucking rules are just over there like, yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Yeah. They're working at they're working at the fucking Catholic Church, and the father's over there touching peepees, and it's just the whole thing's bad. It's true. Yeah, it's true.
Probably. Unfortunately.
Father Patrick, thank you for touching all those little boys' wieners.
But Al, actually, now that you bring that up, I've always believed that if you believe in the devil or a lower entity or man-made shit, like we talk about the concept. I know it seems like we're shitting on the church a lot, but it's just I want to get people to think. It's like a lot of this. We've said this like 400 times in this episode. Everything is like man-made, bro. Oh, Brian's got some intrusive thoughts right now.
Oh, sorry. I'm not feeling myself because you said that. Oh my god! Now I can see your forehead.
Oh man, how big are your hats? No, I'm just kidding.
You're so stupid.
That's all right, man. Imagine me wearing a fucking COVID mask with my giant nose. That shit sucked.
That was a tent.
I almost went parasailing with that shit.
You're hiding Ethiopians under your nose.
I smuggled some Mexicans for the border in that fucking thing.
Oh my god. You just fucked me up.
Dude, you know how much coke I can do with this fucking thing? I can be Hunter Biden's best friend. God damn.
an 8 ball in a second.
Guess what? I'm the one who's got his laptop, bitches. No.
Oh my god. Oh my god. Dude. Hey, our podcast just turned into a comedy podcast because that shit fucking, oh my god, that shit made me, oh my god.
You pee your pants a little. You
A
pee
little
Pete
bit. Just a little bit. A little bit. I was trying to hold that shit. Come on now. Oh my god, that was so funny.
Well,
No,
that's what we talk about, authenticity. You know, we're fucking around right now.
no shit. Hey, and I love comedy. I think comedy is fucking most. I think laughter is one of the fucking most like healthy things we can have in our life. Is like
The
just
most important thing you can do is be able to laugh at yourself. Like you said earlier, Wayne
yeah.
Dyer said, "Don't take yourself so seriously." You know?
Yeah. Rule number 6. Don't
Yeah.
take yourself so goddamn serious. And they were like, what's the other rules? He's like, there is no other rule. That's it. It's like, no shit, man.
Yeah, man. We all come here the same. We all go out the same. You know?
Mm-hmm.
We're all gonna die, baby. Have fun, but just don't be an asshole. You know?
No, I tell people all the time, enjoy yourself. Just don't harm anybody else. You know? As long as you bring no harm to anyone else as you're like enjoying your experience as a human, like who cares? Like you're not hurting anybody. Do your life, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, that's what I think about that. You can apply that to any aspect of life.
Mm-hmm.
It just makes sense.
That's what I'm saying. But you know, we're put in a box, you know, as we grow. So we think we have to follow these things. But one of my, so like you and I talked about, our biggest goals are to teach people not to follow what they were told. You know, like I don't want you to follow your bullshit you were taught because you're gonna be stuck in a box you never want to be in.
I knew it.
You know?
Yeah, that's why so many people are miserable because they're not following what they really want to do.
Yeah.
What their passion is, and it's just like, well, you gotta go. Like, oh, you're gonna get me on a tangent. We talked about this.
No, I know. I do the same thing with that.
Like, oh, you go to college and fucking getting hundreds of thousands of dollars of debt, so you're in the system forever. You naive little 18-year-old retard. You know, everything's a business.
But that's the thing, though. So the parents have to learn to not feed that shit to the kids, right? Because the parents are also like, "Oh yeah, go to college. You're gonna do all this stuff." Do you know how many people are hundreds of thousands of dollars of debt of college, and they're like, you know, I don't want to do that shit.
You know what the problem is? You know what the problem is that the last generation of people that I was actually talking about this the other day at the event I was at with this lady. And I was like, yeah, we were talking about the concept of how people are like so sensitive these days and blah, blah, blah. But we also agreed mutually, it's like, you know, it's the last generation's fault
Yeah.
that this is the way this is because they're the ones who created it. But at the same time, the way that our parents and grandparents lived in the current state of our society right now, we can't do the same things that they did because it's not going to have the same result.
Yeah, that's true.
It's like, oh, I went to college and I worked a career for 40 years. Now I can retire. It's like, well, the world's a little different now.
Yeah.
It's like now I gotta now I gotta fucking sell feet pics to buy bread. You know?
Where did that come from?
Well, I was gonna make a forehead joke, but
You should say, go ahead. Go ahead.
no, I was
Go
gonna
ahead.
say sell forehead pics, but
Well, with you, we're gonna sell your baby elephant, fucking your baby elephant, fucking. You have a fucking snout. You got a snout off that fucker.
they can put me in the next Lion King movie. I'll be the elephant.
The problem is you look like a terrorist.
Or yeah, or
Movie.
I could be the next Jaws. I just gotta lay on my back in the water, you know.
That's true. That's true. Oh my god. We don't know if that's Asian. We don't know if that's a fucking. Oh, dude, that's the shark's fucking fin. Where's his mouth? Well, we don't know. That's weird. It's his fin and his mouth. Like it's weird. This shark's retarded.
It's a Joe Biden.
Huh?
It's a Joe Biden shark. The Great White Biden.
That's perfect. Oh, we should make a video of that shit.
We should make that a fucking T-shirt.
Oh, dude, we should do that. What's that? What's that song for the kids? Baby Shark.
Yeah.
We can do that with Biden, and we have. Dude, we should do that. That's a great freaking idea.
Trademarked. No one can steal it.
Yep. Nope. It's ours. It's ours. That'd be hilarious. I bet you would make so much money on that shit.
Probably. That's kind of sad, though, huh?
Yeah. I mean, fuck, man. I won't feel bad about it. I'll be like, well, you guys are the dumb ones buying it. Why are you buying this shit? This is stupid. Don't buy this shit. Man, yeah, fucking Biden baby shark, dude.
Yeah, that'd be a YouTube hit.
It would be.
And it would be every time they say shark, do, every do is him falling off his bike or falling down the stairs. Yeah. I think I broke Brian, ladies and gentlemen. Broken.
He's falling off a bike or falling.
Yeah, like every time he falls off the bike, it's like do.
That's perfect. Can we make that please happen? That'd be beautiful.
Yeah, let Anthony know we got to make it, and he can make it way better than I can.
Oh my god, he's falling off the stairs. He's falling off a bike. I'm gonna tell Anthony that's perfect. There's Biden. Oh my god, dude. He fell off that a long time ago. Shit. And he never got back on. That's why our country is fucking like we're on a tightrope right now. Like, let's see what happens. Let's see what happens.
Yeah, well, I mean, maybe they should make him walk a tightrope in a fucking circus. Then we could be over it, you know?
That'd be a great idea.
Be like, what are you doing with that ice cream? Just fucking have like a fishing pole with ice cream on the end and like reel them in with it, you know?
You know, it'd be kind of fun. Never mind. I can say it.
Well, Brian, any closing remarks to our beautiful audience that watches our very informative podcast?
I love all you guys. Sorry. I had an episode of laughter, which I think is great.
He's a geriatric, so you got to forgive him.
Yeah, forgive me. I'm old compared to all of you young babies, apparently. But yeah, love all you guys. Appreciate you guys.
All right, everybody. We'll catch you in the next one. Like, share, comment, and then, like I said, when Brian went to go pee, make sure that you comment. And you can also email us your stories if you want to be featured anonymously. That's more than fine. But we want to get other people's accounts of energy, spirit, and I guess you could say ghost stories. All right, guys. Catch you in the next one.